Hey guys, it's Ryan here with Hobbies Man once again, and today we're going to be talking about something that I did last night. So last night was March 8th, and there was a Naruto concert here in Dallas at the Majestic Theater, and it's part of the Naruto Symphonic experience to celebrate 20 years of the Naruto anime. So I had heard about this early in January, I think through Twitter. I had immediately wanted to go. I went to the One Piece one last year. It's a bit different, but it's pretty similar. It's organized by different companies, so they're not related at all, but they are very similar. I'm hoping for a Bleach and the Dragon Ball one as well at some point, but I heard about it in January through Viz Media and the actual organizers on Twitter, and I had wanted to go, right? Eventually, in February, I bought tickets, and I invited some of my friends to go with me. And well, actually, we all bought tickets together. But so we did that, and then eventually, finally, yesterday, we went to the Majestic Theater. We went to the concert, and it was really wonderful. I actually wanted to talk about it because I recommend that if you are interested, you go and check it out. It's really, really cool. It's very fun, and I really recommend it. Depending on what venue you pick, you might want to pick a different type of seating arrangement than you would expect is probably best. And I'll explain that in a second. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the event. So you can buy the tickets online, or at least yesterday, it seemed like they were selling tickets there. You could just walk in and buy some. I don't necessarily think that that's the best way to do it. You should definitely buy them online. You can just Google Naruto Symphonic Experience and it should pop up and lead you directly to the Naruto Symphonic Experience website, and you can get it from there. The tickets we bought were $75 or $70 plus $15 in fees. Ended up being about $85 total, and it's a bit pricey, but I think it was quite worth it. I did really enjoy myself. The concert itself is 2 hours long. There's usually two slots, and there is a 20-minute intermission at the middle-ish part of it. So I went to the 7 p.m. Concert. It started nearly on time at 7:05. They had two MCs. One of them was Caleb Hiles, which is a pretty well-known anime cover YouTuber on here. He and Jonathan Young and a few other people are quite famous for doing anime covers, right? And I'm not sure why they picked Caleb. I guess, he's probably the most well-known out of all of the cover artists that exist on YouTube, but it might have just been that he's local to the area. I don't know if that means that he's going to be in every show, but he was at least in the ones here in Texas, or at least the one in Dallas, which I'm pretty sure is the first one in Texas. There's one in San Antonio, there's one in Sugar Land, which is near Houston, and there's one somewhere else, but I can't remember. I think it's in Austin. And he was there. He was kind of the MC. He introduced us to the show. He said you could, be loud and jeer and do all of the stuff that you might want to do. This is not a traditional concert, right? They want you to be excited. They want you to yell and scream and do all of this stuff. And most people took it kind of at face value, and some of them did do it. But broadly speaking, it was a pretty quiet show. I think that was probably for the best. I really enjoyed myself during it. And I think that if there was a lot of yelling and cheering, I would have maybe not liked it as much. So the show started at 7:05, like I said, and it lasted until about 9:30-ish, right? So there was an hour and 25 minutes of show, then a 20-minute intermission that puts you at 8:50, and then there was another 30 minutes or so of show. There was an encore at the end. It was kind of built into the show. So the conductor would leave, and then she would come back and do two more songs, and those two last songs were intros, right? Openings, and they were pretty great. There was openings sung, although the majority of the show was based around, actual soundtrack from the show. So Caleb Hiles was the presenter and the singer, and they sang Far Away, Sadness into Kindness, Go, which is the Fighting Dreamer song, Wind, and I think there was one or two other singing parts that I can't remember the name of. I remember them, but I don't necessarily remember the lyrics enough to be able to pinpoint which opening it was, right? And I did go back and do that for the ones that I did mention, right? So Wind is actually an ending. The other three were openings. And the show was basically structured around the original 220 episodes of the anime. It was abridged into a 2-hour movie, essentially. And then the movie was used as the basis for the music that was played. So depending on the scene, you got different music. That means that there was some elements of repetition throughout the music. There was a lot of that like early Naruto like guitar, drums, and like the very basic like hua kind of vocals, right? And that happened quite a lot through the show, but it was very enjoyable and very exciting all of the time. And it was wonderful. I loved it so much. It was great. Of course, there was a shimasen, which is the Japanese 3-string guitar thing with the weird hair clip thing that they used to play it. And there was a big taco drum as well. And I want to say that the visuals were also quite good because they had a big screen with the anime playing on it. But they also had this interesting light setup around the stage and around the artist or the what are they called? The players. Yeah, the players. And the lighting would change depending on the scene, right? So if it was an Orochimaru scene, it would start with purple and then would match whatever colors were on the screen. And then it would like switch over to like orange when Naruto was using the Nine-Tails chakra. It would switch over to like blue when it was a Chidori moment and stuff like that. It was great. It was really enjoyable. It added a lot of ambiance to the visuals. Overall, very wonderful. There's a few key kind of moments that I really liked. So the introduction of Tsunade was a great moment because everyone was really excited about that. Most Naruto fans that are guys probably like Tsunade a lot, and that was pretty well known and pretty well shown last night. There was also a really fun moment where we get the introduction of Naruto and Jiraiya, right? We get to see them meet, we get to see them at the onsen, at the bathhouse, and we get to see that Jiraiya is being a perv, and Naruto does the sexy jutsu to kind of get him to agree to train him, right? And they played that whole scene, and in the background, they played an amazing saxophone solo, right? It was kind of like a little bit of a jazzy kind of vibe that's kind of like true to the anime, and it was hilarious because it was one guy, he stood up, they put the lamp on him or the light on him, he put on a cowboy hat, and he just like jammed out on the saxophone. And it was really fun. I really had a great time listening to that. It was so funny, very hilarious. And there was a few other moments. They played the Rock Lee fight, although the music for the Rock Lee fight is not that exciting. The moment was super hyped because everyone loves that moment, right? When he lets go of the weights and the music swells, and it's really awesome. I really enjoyed that moment. We also got to see Naruto summon the Toad Chief for the first time. We got to see Naruto versus Shukaku at the end, and we got to see the Valley of the End as well. So all told, it was a great experience. There was a few kind of minimal issues here and there. So first of all, basically I would say that there's three kind of issues, right? Because of the section that we sat on, which is section 2, because there's like tiers to the Majestic Theater, right? So there's the bottom section, which is like technically the best type of seating. There's the balconies, which are the very top, and technically those are the worst types of seating because they're so far back, although they do give you the broadest view of the theater, right? We picked the middle section, which is a bit more expensive. They're priced at like the middle portion being $70, whereas the cheaper ones are $50, and the more expensive ones are over $100, right? And we sat there because we thought that was close enough that it would be enjoyable, but far enough away that it wasn't that expensive, right? And the thing is that because of the way that the Majestic Theater is built, where we were sitting, which was a pretty prime seating regardless, or in spite of the moment, or the way that the show was set, that means that we didn't get to see the whole screen. So there was like the players at the bottom, and those framed perfectly thanks to the way that the building was set up. But the screen was basically cut off a little bit over the halfway mark. So if this is the screen, or here, let me show you with my notebook. If the screen is this, we basically only got to see like the bottom half that I'm showing you, the stuff that wasn't in my over my hand, because the way that the building would work, it was that you basically had this overhang on top of you in the section, and so that cut off some of the screen. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal because I've watched the Naruto anime like 3 times at this point, so I basically know everything that's going on. But my friend that went with me was into Naruto for an extent, but didn't really know all of it and doesn't really remember all of it. And so he was a bit upset that we didn't get to see the whole screen, but we did get to see the subtitles and we did get to see the players. So broadly speaking, I thought it was great. However, be aware of that when you buy tickets for yourself, depending on the setup or depending on the way that the building is made, you might have an overhang and you might not get to see the whole screen. So be aware of that. The other kind of second thing that was a bit of an issue was that because the players and the singers were basically on the same stage, very close to each other, there was moments where when Caleb Hyles was singing alongside the female singer, I can't remember her name, sorry, were singing, there was moments where the vocals were drowned out because they the sound around them was too loud, and so you couldn't hear what they were singing, which is a bit disappointing, but broadly speaking, understandable. That was a bit of an issue, but it wasn't that big of an issue. It really only affected one or two key moments in a few of the songs, and it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was an issue, right? And then the final issue is that the merch was pretty bad, in my opinion. Like, it was fine, but when you look at the merch that was sold at this event, nothing about it was special enough to really warrant it being sold at the prices that it was sold in the place where it was sold. It basically just felt like pretty normal Hot Topic-esque kind of Naruto stuff, which is a bit disappointing, but it's not horrible. I did buy one thing, which is a poster, just because I'm not the type of person that wants physical objects to remember things by instead of pictures, right? I'm not really necessarily a fan of pictures, and I'm not one that takes too many of them, but I do like having stuff, right? So I bought this Naruto poster, and I kept it in its bag for now so that I could show it to you guys. So here's what it looks like. Naruto Symphonic Experience. And there you go, that's the characters. And it has the nice orange ramen noodle kind of symbol that you see in a lot of Naruto stuff nowadays, right? It's a bit kind of crinkled here and there because I bought it before the show, and so I was holding it in my hands throughout most of it. And I'm not really sure what the size of this is. It's a bit smaller than that poster, so it's I'm gonna have to buy a custom frame for it probably, which is a bit disappointing, but it's not that big of a deal. I'm, broadly speaking, pretty happy that I bought this, and I like that it says where I got it from. But there was no program, there was no art book, there was nothing that was like super high quality. It was mostly t-shirts, there was a jacket, there was a tote bag that was made out of a nice coarse fabric, which is pretty interesting because usually when you look at a tote bag, it's going to be a nylon bag and it's going to be printed. This one was printed, but it was a more natural material, which was a bit better, but it was too expensive. It was $30. And I did see people that just bought one of each and then spent like $150 on merch, but it wasn't worth it in my opinion. It just did not have the kind of awesome vibe to it that some of the stuff from the One Piece Symphonic anniversary did, right? So I would have liked to have a matching program guide to go along with the one that I got from One Piece, but that seems to not have been possible, and that's okay. At least I got a poster. So those are my thoughts on this. I think generally it was an amazing experience. It was wonderful. It was very, very fun. If you're able to, I recommend you go. It's a great experience. It was wonderful. There was people of all ages. There was some children. There was mostly people my age and a little bit older than me, maybe in their 30s. And there was also some old people. There was a few grandmas. I think I saw like at least 4 or 5 people that looked like they were in their 50s and maybe even into their 70s. So it was a pretty widespread. It was pretty well done. I think that it was appealing to a lot of people, and I'm very happy that it was. It was mostly full as well. It was a pretty packed theater, and it was a great experience. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Naruto Symphonic experience. I recommend you guys check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you did go to the Dallas one last night, or if you are going to go to one, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited for it. Let me know what you liked the most about it. And thank you guys so much for watching once again. See you guys later.